Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the final day of the Trackmania Asia OCE Championships. I'm Formal. Joining me is Gex. And even though today is going to be, I feel, an exciting one, hopefully from start to finish, as our 12 best drivers are soon going to be set to go out there and at it again, I want to extend, a heartfelt thank you to the family of GamerBoy2508 for, not only still showing, support and love to the community that GamerBoy did love, but also donating that prize pool for this event, $250.80, right up there with the name. A big heartfelt thank you to them, and we hope that this event and this scene continues to do that family proud and carry on with that legacy.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of people. You saw the video. So many friends made such an influential player to the scene, so it's great to have the family on board and the approval of the scene there, the encouragement for everybody, as he would have done himself if he was still around. So, yeah, I think it's a very fitting tribute for him as well. And we also have the award for him to be looked at the end of the day as well. Our best rookie of the season. We have had that R next to the names for ourselves to be able to keep an eye on that. And definitely some big names to look out for. Actually, one in here still in the lower bracket that I'm super keen about is Crazy Bus Driver.
I mean, well, there's 5 actually still out there competing right now. Jay Swag, Complex, Crazy Bus Driver, SQLC, and Black Feather. They are the 5 still in it, but they're in the lower bracket, which will be happening on some of our alternate language streams. So if you want to go check them out, you can. But up here in the upper bracket, we're doing our upper bracket final. And this is an exciting upper bracket final. Min has been on form, it feels like, all throughout yesterday, all throughout the warm-ups, and has actually kind of become that driver to beat. Mutta, on the other hand, though, right up there with them. Also, you have Spark, who has been consistently that third-place driver, I feel like, and Planetary Goose. Strong showing through that upper bracket. Maybe a little bit of surprise to have gotten this far in that upper bracket, but hey, you know what? A strong result here. I can see them in that grand final.
We saw some crazy stuff yesterday as well. The back-to-back finish from Careless Cobra coming from the complete back of the pack in match 2. We've seen a crazy good run from Planetary Goose, who was seed 3 in our A group there. Min coming out. I think Min was first in our A group.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah. Min Spark. So to see Min and Spark both available here with Planetary Goose as well, I think the Group A seeding definitely has come up very, very strong here. Complex, the number 2, is still available in the tournament, but he's in the lower bracket. Mutta is the only one left in the upper bracket from Group B, but he is also probably the favorite for the entire tournament.
See, that was my thinking yesterday, but like upon reflecting on the form that we saw, I'd almost lean on Min right now to be maybe a little bit warmer. Either way, though, it's upper bracket finals.
You lost me on that one.
Really?
Yeah, no, still Mutta for me. Min, I think it is probably one of the best chances we've ever had to have Mutta go down here. And Spark has actually been chasing up Min. I think Spark is just a little bit less consistent, but might actually be faster at a lot of times.
We'll see. I'm not sure I agree with that one. We'll see, because when I see every world record, it's always Min.
Yeah, that's true.
But we'll see how much of a min-maxer they can be. Our first track for this upper bracket final, because we are getting straight into it, all right? We're going to go to Punamau, which has been, a favorite, I feel like, of a lot of these drivers. It feels like we've been getting this track more so than any of the others. Granted, it's only a pool of 5, so we get very familiar with them all. But the race is now about to begin, so everybody get seated, get set. Upper bracket final is now underway.
Indeed. I think this really is going to come down to consistency, though. I mean, particularly the APAC region has had issues with consistency this season, have kind of worked out a lot of the issues there, though. Spark already going to be falling back here as Planetary Goose takes a big hit. It's going to be Mutta chasing up in second here to Min. Like you said, big paces out of Min. I do expect him to be faster, but I think Mutta is going to be more consistent, as you see there.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake from Min. All well and good. This first round, look, you can ask any of these drivers. The first round's just a glorified warm-up, all right? So
yeah.
I'm still not pulling back on my pick, but I am excited to see that form Mutta is in right now. The world record, as you can see, 50 seconds, .696, held by Min. Is not going to be beaten, obviously, on this first round across, but a great start from Mutta nonetheless. They'll come across P1, Spark P2. Bit of a roughie, though, for the Goose and Min. They're going to be back in 3rd and 4th.
Kelvo pointing out that Mudda has actually switched to inside line this time around, was taking slower lines before, did so safely enough to come through without any issues, coming out first in both the group stages yesterday, so both brackets coming out very, very strongly, but yeah, he's possibly going to be even faster today. Of course, if he switched line, that could create some inconsistency as well. Less practice.
We'll see. I mean, we're even seeing it like, yeah, out the gate is kind of what we're referencing right now. In the past, they always went super wide along that dirt. So I'm glad to see that adjustment come through. I mean, these are the adjustments that you don't typically start to see, as even in this next round, actually a little bit of a surprise. Min off to a slower start compared to last time, but will take advantage of Goose, who is pushing themselves, I think, a little harder to keep up. Goes wide and off this time around. We'll find the inside line to compete for 3rd, but out in the front, Spark and Mudda nearly within each other, but it's the cleaner landing from Mudda that starts to push them a couple car lengths ahead.
Yeah, Mudda setting some really high pace here. Spark actually out ahead of Min as well here. This was the outright speed I was saying you can expect out of Spark, but he needs to be able to keep this consistency if he wants to come through in 1st or 2nd place here. He is going to be in 1st position here, though, as Min did make a mistake last time as well. Has actually proven to be less consistent than Spark so far.
Yeah, a little bit surprising to see the struggle out of Min, as the times are kind of warming up so far in this one. We shaved another 2/10 off that, still 3/10 off the world record. See if that climb continues right now. If Min's going to start to make that comeback towards the top, this is where I would expect to see it on this round. Same with Planetary Goose, who is also due for a clean run after 2 early bonks. Making our way through that water section. Spark is still the surprise of this heat, though, out in front at the moment, but it's through these transitions where they've given it up in the past.
Oh, isn't he just? Spark is cutting a tight line there as well. Does hold momentum there and is out ahead. There is a big gain back from Min here, who's right on top, though, and Min might take a
landing
line. Spark gets an ultra low landing there. Super good transition, and Min takes it with a tight line through one of the final turns.
Yeah, a little bit slower than the last round. I think, everyone was pushing that little bit too hard, that the landings weren't quite as clean as you'd like to see, but Min still able to do just enough to remind us, hey, I can still be a pace setter on Putamao. Does get themselves still in 3rd place, but a little bit more solidified. The big story on that one, though, was Mudda back in 3rd place. Actually keeps sitting a couple positions, and another awkward 3rd place again could see them losing the lead.
I know we've said it before, but that round was such proof in the pudding of the transitions being so big in this track. It's not that they're particularly easy to mess up, but it is very easy to not take them at full speed. The lower you transition on, the faster you get down that grip, the more pace you come out with. Min showing that right now, well out ahead, but big comeback from Spark is showing so much speed on Putamao right now.
Yeah, Spark just keeps going for these low lines, and maybe a little bit too low right there. Meanwhile, Mudda goes tight, actually maintains a lot of that speed. It's going to be Min trying to chase down through the final pipe sections, but Mudda is just too clean. Another win to finish off this track. They'll be on 35 points. Min will do enough to catch up to Spark, and they will retake 2nd place. But, yeah, Mudda looking very, very strong through our first track.
Once again, it's just that consistency. Even if he's not coming first every single time, he is the majority of the time, and that is enough to take out a win, obviously. So the consistency out of Mudda, particularly changing line early here, is such a good sign out from him. But really nice to see Spark bringing in a little bit of consistency. That was really the first time we've seen anything major against that in that last round.
Yeah, and again, if we want to talk consistency, I mean, we do need to bring up Planetary Goose. Had a bonk in 3 out of 4 of those rounds. Not really the show we were looking for. Granted, Goose would be a bit of the dark horse in this one if they're able to kind of come through and qualify out of this. We see this more as sort of that 3-car race right now, as moving to Scarecrow, much more of a techie track than that last one. A couple transitions, some dirt, but a lot of tight corners. And as we, are watching them warm up, I'm going to be keen to see if Mudda right now will continue that same sort of strong performance into all of the tracks and that same consistency over Min.
Yeah. Crazy that we're seeing such close times to world record, actually. When you are looking for consistency, you tend to play safe around a lot of the more risky corners, but it's those risky corners that can get you that extra burst of speed. I think early on we were seeing consistency issues out of Min specifically because of that reason, though. Min knows what Muddo is bringing and will be trying to just squeeze out every millisecond in this track.
Well, I mean, again, Min is the current world record holder on this one with that 47.131, and we'll see if that will come into play again. This is live on the first track, and again, Goose running into some early problems with the early bonk, but out in front, Min just looking so much smoother right now than both Smark and Mutta, who are using a lot more of the track, and it's leading to slow advantages getting ahead. However, Spark still fighting an insane line. Spark has just been sending it. It feels like they continue to slowly bridge that gap. I am in love with Spark's form today.
Genuinely cleaner lines than Mutta right now as well. Spark is looking absolutely hot today. You've got to admit this is a very good run, but Min out ahead with a great time this time as well. 47.224. Very, very clean run there.
Yeah, I mean, that was only 1/10 off the world record, Gex. Like, that was close. And this is what I was saying. Like, Mutta might have Portimao under lock and key for today, but Scarecrow right now looking very strong for Min. And as impressive as the lines were from Spark at the end, that's what Min was doing the entire time and then some. Like, Min was looking so good. And speaking of early moments, well, looked like there was an early bonk this time from Mutta. It's going to give up a lot of positions, so definitely not as confident on Scarecrow as he was on Put Him Out.
Yeah, seeing these lines being cut so close time and time again, though. Actually, Planetary Goose out in front for the first time here. Like you said, Planetary Goose would be the dark horse for this one, is the lowest seed out here, and against two of the players from his seeding stage, so you wouldn't expect him to come out on top of either Min or Spark there. But Mutta either. I mean, the first seed out of Group B. It's going to be a tough one. Planetary Goose can't quite hold the lead, and Min sneaks through.
Min is just so fast through the second half of this track. I mean, it looked like they were taking the exact same lines, but because of the transitions, Min just had that little bit more gas. And with that win and with Mutta having that early bonk, we have a new leader in this heat.
Yeah, 2 out ahead. Like I said, it does rely on consistency. It's not just about being able to set high paces. It is about being able to hold them. And Min is proving it's definitely doable here. Planetary Goose, once again, this is looking like a good track for Goose, is coming out in front in the first few corners.
Yeah, but that's because Min takes those wider lines to get a bit more speed for this turn right here. I've noticed it every time Min goes that little bit wider, maintains that little bit more momentum, and it's all building for the ending. So I'm seeing a very similar round to our last round. Goose will have the lead for the first 3/4 of this track, but all of a sudden Min, right about now, is going to start using that momentum that they built up earlier, all for this late lunge. They retake the lead, and once again, Min will take it, 47.424.
It's that wide grass turn there. Planetary Goose should be able to do that better than he's doing right now, but just trying to take it so safe, trying to hold momentum and maybe drifting a little bit too wide on it there. We'll have to cut it finer if possible. Min able to beat out. There's no room between them there. It takes so little for Min to actually get out ahead.
And now on that 4th round, Min in the lead. I actually think Min's going to go for something big. Speaking of moments, that was Goose getting a bonk. And after some momentum in their favor, they're going to stay in 4th place at the end of this unless there's another bonk happening. But my eyes are on Min right now. The pace they are setting, it looks like they are going for a world record here, Gex.
Especially with the points already out ahead. Worth noting here that Min, this is his second time in the AOTC in a very long time, and actually only his second event in a very, very long time has been called out for the Korean National Service, and is actually taking time off to come in here. So, I mean, if anybody is deserving it, he is putting in the effort just to be here, let alone win.
That was so close to Mutta catching them at the end. That bonk on the dirt on the way up nearly costing Min the win right there. But Min was still able to hold on. It was actually the slowest win that we had that entire time. But hey, they'll take it. 10-point lead as we get ready to go to our 3rd track right now. Pretty interesting stuff. I want to go back to Scarecrow later with Min because I think Min had that record in their sights. It was getting dangerously close. And I think that last one would have happened if they didn't bonk on the dirt. But we'll see as we gear up to go into our next little track right here. It is going to be Technicolor. And I'm out of ice jokes. We made them all yesterday, okay? This is not an ice track. I concede. It's just not meant to be.
Well, I've got one. Min's got to have ice in the veins, right? This has got to be him holding out. Mudda is now 10 points behind, but it seemed like a very, very good track for Min and Putumayo. Sometimes players will prefer certain tracks and put a lot more time into those. Maybe that's the case with Putumayo. I think Min is very, very quick on all tracks. However, the consistency was obvious on Putumayo over anything else I've seen him run so far, I think.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, again, when you look at the world record, it's Min who's currently sitting with that right now, that 53.285, where our drivers are going to be looking for. And I mean, you keep bringing up the seeding, so I guess I'll mirror that sentiment on this one. When we had the seeding run here, this is where Min secured the #1 seed because Spark had issues on that ice section we were talking about. Granted, I think the real make or break is sort of that half pipe we're watching Goose warm up on right now, because like that's really where if you hit that at the wrong angle, you can lose so much speed on the landing. We'll see how it will play out though as we gear up and get ready to go on to Technicolor. It's Min with a 10-point lead, but top two go to the grand final, so Mudda's still in a fine position as well.
It is really one of the easier ice sections you're going to find, but under pressure and trying to get every ounce of speed you can, Spark made that issue earlier. And yeah, Spark though, I mean, it did come down to the pressure, not necessarily the ice, I think there. And that pressure has only ramped up since then.
Well, good landing from Spark, actually. That's about as clean as you can get. Mudda gaining on Min, who had a little bit of a shaky one, but through these next couple corners, Min is making ground. Mudda falling back. Min wants that tighter inside line, looking to hold that speed. Will it be enough to take the lead? Well, going into the ice section is where you can make it or break it, and it is all being made for Spark right now. Mudda as well does get ahead of Min. So Spark,
my goodness,
looking for that inside line. It's a my goodness! Spark, and all of a sudden, Mudda comes around with the round win.
That is an insane finish there. Min is 17 milliseconds behind as well. An incredibly close finish there, and Spark couldn't hold them off. Like you said, that bonk right at the end there, just clipping the wall on the turn. It was the pressure again. Spark didn't need the closest line to the wall. He just had to make it clean, and he put the pressure on himself to be faster than he needed to. Couldn't hold them off and made the error.
It's not just one position, they lost two. Spark, unfortunately, kind of falling out there. Mid and Mudda, each able to get ahead on the line. Crazy round. But I like where this is going. And again, I like seeing Spark kind of up there, throwing it in pace up there with Min, with Mudda, who are very much looking like the two that are going to be fighting, I think, for the win at the end of the night. We'll see when we get to that grand final. But right now, four of them going at it, and Mudda does find themselves a little bit further behind. Min, again, super deep landing, but lands incredibly clean, so they keep that speed. Spark wanting more of that inside, but this is where you're going to lose out on it unless they hold it through the ice. Hello, Spark. All you need to do is not bonk again at the end, and this round is yours.
And lower transition there. Has to hold a tight line this time. Bonked on the finish line. It is a 2 millisecond difference this time that does lose out the position to Min.
Spark, two times in a row, the bonk at the end, and this time it doesn't cost them as many points as before, but when you're looking to run down both Mudda and Min, every point counts. I mean, Min will happily collect that 12-point lead. They're getting close to getting on finalist point, but kind of crazy stuff as Mudda, again, a slow start as we begin this next round.
Yeah, this is not looking great for Mudda, you gotta say. Min is still looking that little bit more consistent right now with the higher speeds. It's not that Mudda is inconsistent here, but the tiny mistakes out of Mudda are just not being made right now by Min. Spark, again, cannot make that first transition he made across that sideways jump there. Great transition into the dirt, though. Gets a lot of speed. Will lose a little by going high there, but has gotten a fair bit of pace out of it and does do this slalom really, really well through the toboggan section.
Yeah, looking very, very strong as we come towards the ending. Again, Min out in front, and it'll be a clean round win for them. 53.570. Getting close to that world record, only 3/10 off. Good time that you want to see, but Mudda back and forth, definitely not helping the situation. Spark if they can keep climbing, there will be
Yeah.
an avenue back in it. I'd love to see Spark, who has already shown pace on this track, finish strong here.
Spark actually made a position in the final corner that time around, the first time we've seen that from them, rather than dropping one. Planetary Goose actually starting out right this time. It's good to see him setting some pace for a change here, but has to hold clean lines. Might drift a little low there, does drop a little bit of pace, and will be caught up here. I think that is by Min, who is now in front. Mutta sitting second right now and making good lines. Does need to push the pace. I think Mutta has that in the capacity. Yeah. Mutta hasn't been cutting the lines quite as close as maybe possible. Has been trying for that consistency, but needs to push that.
Well, that said, if Min can hold on through these final corners, they're going to find themselves on finalist points. It's a very high line, getting as tight to the wall as possible. Again, a clean finish. Again, just 3/10 off that world record. Min goes to finalist points, and Spark 3/10 back as well, unfortunately, losing ground on Mutta for themselves. So we have our first finalist. It's going to be Min, but it won't be happening on Technicolor. We're going to be going to a new track.
And Mutta 20 points behind means that it would need to be 3 back-to-back wins to be able to take out the first place out of this round, and I don't see it happening. No. You might have beaten me on the predictions here, Max. Min is looking absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, but again, first or second doesn't matter. You just want one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I don't think Mutta is really too focused on Min. They'd be more focused on Spark behind them as we are going to Cherry, the bright red track. And this has kind of been the most dramatic track, I feel like. This is where we did see Cobra, I'm pretty sure, win those back-to-back rounds to get themselves back in it. We've seen some strange bonks in the past. We've seen Mutta kind of pulling off the side to kind of park it, check it out, look at the scenery. We'll be curious how this one will play out, though, but as it stands, Min just needs to win one round, and they are through. Would love to do it on that first attempt.
That middle section there where you go into the red, the namesake for the track, the Cherry section there on the plastic, if you slow down before that jump, you will bounce when you hit the plastic. It is so crucial to maintain speed as you go over that jump to be able to get anything up that curve. Actually, a very, very tight margin on that as well.
Yeah, and we'll see, that has been where a couple of our drivers have been caught out in the past. Here we go now. Cherry, Min looking for the win for that trip to the grand final. Mutta just looking to create more space from Spark, as well as Planetary Goose, who at any moment could start that rally, all right? I don't want to kind of write the Goose off just yet. Our Kiwi representative here in the final has already bonked, though, through the first turns.
Min out ahead. It's not always that we see the world record holders able to win when it comes down to competition. The highest pace is not necessarily the most consistent one, but Min has proven that he has both in the repertoire. Mutta has proven on this track in particular that he has some amazing pace, though this time around does go wide, gets a massive amount of momentum. Carrying that through the plastic is so major as well. Plastic tends to shave off so much momentum.
To the line,
oh
Min!
My goodness, Min. And the bonk from Spark. Oh, no.
Spark is the master at bonking at the end, and we go back to when we first saw them racing. They'll have the pace, they'll have moments, but then throw it away. Either way, though, Min is going to be our first finalist, and when I say that, I mean grand finalist. They are through to that round as we start our final three. Mutta now essentially, 2 rounds away from getting themselves in that finalist point situation, especially if they're to win this first one. Then no matter what, the second one will get them there. Spark, however, is the one who's looking to bridge the gap. They've got a free round to get as many points up as they can, so eyes on Spark as they have the lead through the first half of the track.
Mutta going wide to grab some momentum there. Oh, big error is going to cost Spark. It has been the consistency issues from Spark. The pacing has been no problem. Spark would have been first out in a number of rounds so far if it weren't for those errors. But, this is brutal. Looking like Mutta is pretty comfortable to take this one.
Yeah, I mean, Goose kind of bounced out as well, and now is all the way back in third. So Spark, despite making that mistake, will at least get themselves a second. But no matter what, Mutta, even if they come in last place in this next round, they're going to be on finalist points in 2 rounds from now. So Spark will be sitting at about 84. They've got a free round to try and get as many points as they can at this stage, knowing what's going to be on the line in that next round. Realistically, though, If I'm Spark, I'm thinking I need to win 3 in a row.
Yeah, exactly. I would be on the same boat if I was Spark right now. He will have to push himself, but that pressure hasn't been beneficial to him so far. Some players will eat that up, and it'll make them take the lines they probably can do consistently, but won't push themselves to until it's needed. Spark doesn't seem to be one of those players. He will push those lines too fine and make the touches. He needs to get out of ahead now, and it's Mudder making the error as Planetary Goose actually leads up. Spark might be able to take this one here and needs to desperately.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. Like, Mutta, it doesn't matter. They're going to be on finalist point regardless.
Whoa.
And there's the bonk from Goose, so all Spark needs to do is keep it clean. Now, look, we've seen him struggle with the pressure in the past now, Gex, but there really shouldn't be that much pressure here.
He doesn't know that, though.
Until the end. One last turn. There you go. Spark finally wins a round.
Yeah, Spark getting the 10 points is major. Means it is only 2 rounds needed to win now for Spark. It is in the wheelhouse. We've seen it done before. I cannot imagine a world where Mudder goes down to the lower bracket here.
I know, it's going to be
That's
tough.
crazy.
Spark having to go back-to-back. I believe this is going to be our last round on Cherry as well. And that's the thing. If Spark can win this round going to a new track, all of a sudden it might seem doable. So I feel like if there's any chance for Spark to pull it off, like, yeah, you have to win this round and kind of hope for something crazy at the start of the next. Either way, though, Mutta has had more ice in the veins up until this point. We will see how they play it off as we go through our middle portion of the track.
Best time so far has been set by Mutta with that 52.918, but that was actually nearly contested by Spark there. Sub 53 on the last run was not only clean, but it was fast. Now Mutta out well ahead. Issues from Spark and Planetary Goose chasing up, but I don't expect that Mutta is going to let anybody catch him with this lead now.
No, this is all Mutta to the end. Although they go wide, is that safe line because they know they have some space, or do they? Goose is actually gaining final turns. It will not be enough. Mutta will advance with Min to the grand final.
There it is. Probably the expected result out here. Mutta was seeded to probably be the first place here, but Min was seeded first out of their group as well and has now proven that Mutta can fall. I think going into the next matchup, which will be the grand final between the two, that first place result is going to force Mutta into some tricky decisions.
It will be interesting to see what happens when they go at it again. Of course, it will be to 120, not 100 as well, so it'll be a bit longer when we get to that grand final. But for us here right now, look, I'm looking to the side because I'm bringing up what has been happening down there in those lower brackets. I want to see if we have any results in, and, well, it does look like we're not actually quite done right there. I believe the match with our 3 rookies, Crazy Bus Driver, SQLC, Black Feather, and of course Crazy Cobra, I think they have 3 in the finals right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. 3 finalists on the line, so we may see that one ending very shortly. But that means that 2 rookies at least are still able to take that out. It could be a double rookie finish there if Careless Cobra isn't careful.